Good evening, it is currently 3 minutes past 6. This is the XS Manchester Football Social. It's the full-time Devils takeover, and it's not just we that can talk about United, you can talk about United as well. 0345 111 7625. Get in touch now, get your points to us. And I'm joined here by Suff and Webby. Gentlemen, good evening, you well?
Great, thanks, yeah, man.
Yeah, so we'll start off with that one. The front three, absolutely banging the goals galore, doing wonders for United. How confident are you with them? And when was the last sort of striking partnership you can refer back to as a United fan that is just as good as the partnerships that we've got now?
You've got to look at the treble season, the four we had. Ole, Teddy, York and Coley, that was a great four. Worked well with each other. Then obviously you got to go to the last one, 2007 and 8 with Berber, Tevez, Rooney. You know, it was great. And this year's, after what we've seen for the last few years, struggling for goals, It looks like we can score every time we attack. So, and with Zlatan coming back as well, it gives you that extra option, which is very, very close now. So it's all looking good in the garden at the moment. I'm very happy.
It is all good. You wanted to just reflect on Palace. I mean, banging them in galore, 4-0 FC. Is it, you know, just confidence building every time United play? Well,
obviously they set their plan out. They had a week. We was away in Russia. They had a week to prepare. After 2 minutes, you got to change the plan. You know, it was 4-0, and it could have been 4 or 5, 6 or 7, but you took 4-0 before the match. So happy, clean sheet, happy.
Suff, welcome to the XS Manchester Full-Time Devils takeover. How are you?
I'm good, man. Thanks for having me on.
No worries, mate. Tell us then, because you mentioned previously in the office about when you were last this confident with a striking flow that we've got at the minute, and that was the 07-08 season.
Yeah. I think obviously Webby's rightly mentioned the 99 season, and you can't forget about the impact that the front four had. But I'm a bit young to obviously remember them. I was about 8 or 9 when they won the treble. So the obviously one that I can remember the most is definitely the 07-08 season, and the absolute excitement that Tevez, Ronaldo and Rooney, every time they went forward, and some of the counter-attacking play, and some of the play that we're seeing now in terms of going forward in the attack, and some of the danger is reminiscent of that. And I think it's only going to get better because these guys are nowhere near the prime of their game, you know, between them 20 and 24, you know. So there's a lot of hot prospects, and I think between them already they've got about 30 odd goals and assists, which is disgustingly amazing, you know. It's just really exciting. It's a really exciting time to be United fan with that front three.
Another thing we're going to talk about, if you want to talk about your favourite striking partnerships, 0345 111 7625 is a topic that sort of came to a close, but I don't think it will come to a close yesterday. The 6 of the top clubs in the Premier League, which in terms of United, Chelsea, Tottenham, Liverpool, Arsenal. Oh, I always forget the United. I've said City. Forgot about City. Wonder why I forgot about City. Massive club. Them 6 said that they deserve more TV money than the rest of the Premier League. They put this proposal forward. They needed 14 teams in the Premier League to vote with them, which, if you do the maths, they are 6. They needed another 8 to say, yeah, all right, we agree with you. And it's extremely difficult then to sort of get the other 8, which we needed to do so. It didn't go through. The proposal stopped because not enough clubs voted for it. But as United fans, as people who witnessed the sort of best football in the world, as part of a history of, you know, the legacy United have, what is your opinion on United getting more TV money than, say, you know, the West Broms, the Stokes, the Palaces, etc.?
You got to look at, Joe. Is it being greedy? You know, how much money do we make? How much money do we want? Obviously, we want to make as much money as possible, but let's be fair to the other teams as well. You know, I'm not going to say. I watched the game the other week, Burnley, Crystal Palace. I was asleep after 15 minutes. You know, it's super sunny, but it's got to be split around. You know, not everyone's a United fan. Not everyone's a City fan, Liverpool fan, and they want to see other teams, and it's right. Regarding the money, obviously we're quite lucky with all the sponsors we have, not just the shirt sponsors. You see it on the back when the manager does the press conference. We've got sponsors for everything now. Is it being greedy? Is it pushing those small? We're making this big divide again, you know. And if you look at it, like last couple of years, the bottom teams beat the top teams. So you can't be disrespectful in that way. Obviously, we are the bigger clubs. We want more money, but let's be fair to the smaller teams, you know, which make the league up.
Yeah, no, I understand that. What do you think, so?
See, I sort of agree and disagree with Webby there. I think from the sort of marketing point of view, from the big clubs and the market that they are sort of generating across the rest of the world, I think there was a stat I seen a couple of years ago that 1 in 10 people are United fans. So I can understand why the big clubs would want to sort of, you know, a bigger portion of the pie, if you like, because as a brand they're trying to push themselves out there in other areas and other continents, etc. And I can't really imagine people in the Far East wanting to watch Burnley play Brighton or whatever, you know.
That's true.
And wake up early in the middle of the morning to sort of do that. But I think, you know, the Premier League as a brand as well is starting to sort of be a lot more pushed out in those areas. So I think it's sort of 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. You can understand why the big clubs are being a bit greedy, if you like.
Don't you think this is like their move to say that? Obviously we were talking about years ago about the Super League, the split, you know, and someone said to me, I'd love to go to Barcelona away on a Tuesday night. You know, these teams want more and more, and it's going to have to stop, because that's what it's going to do. It's going to, the
open
top
the
6
floodgates.
are going to break away. Your top 6 in Spain are going to break away, and you were playing Real Madrid away in the Carling Cup. That'd be a great fixture to go to, but let's think about it. We've got to look after the smaller teams, and it's only fair that it's spread evenly in my eyes.
No, I agree. The thing that caught me is, I sort of thought about this, is that the Premier League is a TV show, and if you can imagine, it's seen by millions, etc., all across the world. Now, the Premier League can be seen as a cast. It's made up of the cast of the teams. Now, if we take, for example, the 6 clubs that want more money as the 6 lead characters in one of the world's most successful shows, being Friends, the 6 actors that played the 6 main characters would of course be on so much more money than the lower characters who just made up the show. So then shouldn't that be the case for the Premier League? As the people will tune in for the main 6 characters, they should get the main amount of money that the Premier League get, and therefore the lower clubs maybe shouldn't get what the other clubs are on, because they don't drive the views. The success of Palace getting a certain amount of money, or of Leicester getting a certain amount of money, is all because of United and City's and Chelsea's and Arsenal's hard work to create a club that stands above the rest. So they're getting rewarded for that. But I 100% get where you're coming from, because it is the Premier League that's the selling point.
I just look at that Scottish League now, you know, and it's... There you go. They play each other 3 times now, and then you've got the same 2 teams. Maybe one will do a little push like Aberdeen normally do, and it's boring. You remember years ago, the Scottish League, I'm not saying it was going to be as big as the Premier League, but you had all these star players there. You couldn't name half the players now who play for Celtic and Rangers. And someone said the other week, Celtic and Rangers is the biggest derby match in the world, and I nearly fell off the chair at home. It used to be on a par. Maybe City, United, Liverpool, Real Madrid, Barcelona, and all the big games. But now it's a nothing game, and that's no disrespect to the 2 teams. It's just the way the money has gone out of the Scottish game now. I don't want that to happen here, where there's just 2 or 3 teams running away with it every year, and it becomes boring. Yeah,
I get that. Just before we move on to the break, Stallone's been in touch, and you can always get in touch, 87711. If you don't want to come on, text us the questions you want me to put to the guys, but if you want to come on and put the questions yourself, 0345 111 7625. He says he wants your opinions, guys, who's been watching the games, on Mkhitaryan. Do you think he's been in form of the last few games? His passing isn't as sharp as you'd hope. His name is Stallone. What do you think?
I mean, I don't think we've seen the best of Mickey just yet. I think, you know, he won the German Player of the Year when he was at Dortmund, and last season he was pushed out on the right. Whenever he's played in behind, I think he had a lot more freedom to move about, and he runs with the ball, and his passing isn't up to scratch yet. He's got quite a lot of assists this season. You know, I think he's 1 assist away of Coutinho's best ever Premier League assist record. So I think, you know, there's a lot more to come from him. But I think, you know, once a system is figured out, I think we'll see the best of him.
I think his best games have been in Europe this year. You know, the 2 games he's played, Bâle and over in Moscow, I thought he was superb.
So that's when he could come into his own.
Yeah, I just think that the style of playing the room you get in Europe's a lot different to the Premiership. It's too fast, and he has had some good games, and then obviously he's run the ball on a few times, but done everyone. You know, so just stick with him. The more games he plays, you'll see the best of him in my eyes in Europe.
I'll always remember, if we talk back to the era of Sir Alex's last couple of seasons, well, last 6 or 5 seasons, he had Park Ji-sung, who wouldn't obviously come on every game, but he knew when he needed him, and he knew when to stick him on, like the Arsenal's away when we scored that. He needed that workhorse. Mkhitaryan, I know he might not play every game, but he could be that little spark the squad needs, or the little, the little workhorse that United need in them big nights.
The problem with me with Ji-sung Park towards his end of the career at United, he always played in weakened teams. You know, he never played he never played with the top first 11 players, and for me that was unfair on him. But before, I'd have him in my team every week, Park, whether he was playing Arsenal or Crewe Alexandra. He was an absolute great player. So
this is the Access Manchester Football Social. If you want to get in touch, you can call us 0345 111 7625. A little girl went viral on the weekend.
6'5", hard as my Aussie, gets the fans excited. Man City up your bunkers, we are Man United. We are Man United.
I love the fact that she switched the actual word for bum there. We've got the dad of the brilliant girl who went viral on the phone next, as well as the director of a new Duncan Edwards movie, so do not go anywhere. Gentlemen, how are you? If you want to see our beautiful faces, it'll probably be on the FullTimeDEVILS YouTube page. Have you subscribed to that yet? Of course you have. Get it done now. It's FullTimeDEVILS YouTube page. It'll be on tomorrow. Have a watch, get in touch, get involved, and be part of the Football Social. We're all enjoying it. Marcus. Marcus is the director of a film about Duncan Edwards. It's called The Boy Who Had It All. And we can speak to Marcus now. Marcus, are you there?
Yeah, how are you, Joe?
I am very, very well, Marcus. The Boy Who Had It All caught my attention. It's about Duncan Edwards. And for those who are listening who might not know about Duncan Edwards, could you tell us a bit about him?
Yeah, Duncan Edwards, he was a Busby babe. He was the youngest player to ever play for Manchester United and England. He held the record for over 40 years until he was beaten in 1998 by Michael Owen.
So was that what? Because what you've done is you've made a film about Duncan Edwards. Is it about his entire life?
Yeah, that's... No, basically what it is, I'm a filmmaker and screenwriter based in Dudley, you see. So there's a statue of Duncan Edwards in our hometown of Dudley. So it was just an idea that came to me one day. And then, I've gone to the local history section in our library. I've got a few autobiographies on him. And then it just went from there.
So tell us a bit more about the film then. Is it out? Is it released? Can people watch it? How can people...
Yeah. We premiered it last Sunday at Old Trafford. It was premiered. We had about 200 people, because we've got a Facebook page, you see, Duncan Edwards, The Boy Who Had It All, and you can find all the progression on there. And we premiered it for the first time at Old Trafford. There was about a 200-plus audience there.
What was the response like? Was anyone there that maybe met the guy?
It was there was a lot of people there. There was one gentleman called Brian. He brought a few photos. He actually played football against Duncan Edwards. He had pictures when he was like in a schoolboy team, sometime playing in a local district team in Dudley. But he played against Duncan. Yeah, there was a few people there that grew up with him and knew him as well. But yeah, we premiered the film on the 1st of October. He'd have been 81, so we premiered the film on his birthday. Yeah,
Marcus, thank you very much for giving time to Access Manchester Full-Time Devils. We look forward to watching the film. We'll make sure we tweet about all the links. So thank you very much, Marcus. I mean, it's an extraordinary little clip, that little video of what could be the base.
I can't believe I missed it. I got invited to it. I know. But like you're saying, was not fortunate to see him play live. But the stories I heard, the videos I've seen, what a player he was. Yeah. What a player.
So next on the Access Manchester Football Social, you might have seen this clip. We've got the father of this.
There is De Gea.
Then there's Luke.
Luke Shaw.
Phil.
Phil Jones.
Chris.
Chris Smalling.
Michael.
Michael Carrick.
Marcus.
Marcus Rashford.
Jesse.
Jesse Lingard.
In with the funny hair.
Fellaini.
Anthony.
Anthony Marshall.
Who else have we got? Oh, Henrik.
Mkhitaryan.
Italian, brilliant. And your favourite, who's that?
Our Cantona.
Our Cantona. Who's that one with the funny colours in his hair? Who's injured at the moment?
Paul Pogba.
Paul Pogba, the one with the funny colours in their hair. We got the James, who's the dad of that wonderful little girl who knows so much about United. James, are you there?
I am indeed, Joe. How are you doing, sir?
I'm very well, James. James, over the last couple of days, I can imagine you've had endless requests to talk about just how much knowledge your daughter's got. Can you tell us all how it all began? Did you teach her from a young age?
Yeah, it's been a little bit surreal the last 3 or 4 days, to be fair, and what is she now, 3.5? So we started off with just the basics, who are Cantona, to be fair, and then we went up to the 5 Cantonars, 4 Cantonars, and we've been teaching her that. I've got little video clips of when she's been doing it since she was 18 months. To be honest, she's a bright little button and picks everything up. So we'd kind of... a mum teaches her all the important stuff like the alphabet and writing her name and all that sort of stuff. I will teach her the absolutely pointless stuff that she needs later on in life, or what I thought she would need later on in life anyway, about United songs. Yeah,
it's brilliant. I mean, she knows them all really well. And who's her favourite again?
Juan Mata's a favourite, and she knows his number. I mean, she's picked up Zlatan's song, and we've changed a few choice words.
Yeah, we played that out just before the break. We will play it again. Great. Is that the mum's sort of choice there to change the certain words?
No, it was my choice. I think after listening to obviously On the Terraces, I think. Even as a father as well, I think we needed to kind of amend it slightly. And I've just had someone on Facebook now saying to me that he can't get it out of his head, and he's a Leeds fan as well, so he's singing it at the moment.
Does she know how far and wide the story has gone?
Do you know what? I sent something out on Twitter the other day, just basically thanking everyone. And it was really weird because I entitled the letter or the document. It was to the world. Sounds weird saying it like that. But if I tell you that I've had conversations recently, literally over the last couple of hours, with people in Australia, people in Tokyo, people in Nepal, people in Colombia, people in Bolivia, USA, Africa. It's gone viral in Bermuda, viral in Indonesia. You wouldn't. It shows the power of social media. It shows the power of the actual fan base of United, of which there's around 750 million, of which we've maybe even only scratched the surface with this. So in terms of, and Naya sat there, really the innocence of it all, in that she doesn't really know. She's obviously said to her mum, "I've been on TV and people have been watching me on TV," but she doesn't know that she's potentially hit 4 corners of the world and making people smile. I had people on Tuesday, obviously the tragic events that happened over in America, I think it was on Tuesday. People were tweeting me saying that on that day it brought a smile to their faces, and it was just like, it's the power. Can a 3.5-year-old girl make a world smile? Obviously she has done.
That's lovely. That is lovely, mate. James, so what's the future then? Next United manager?
Yeah, well, we're working on the next song. A bit
could do with hearing Jay stand on a match day.
We're working on Eric the King. The King. I know it's a bit of a fan's favourite. She's a bright button. I only tried it with her the other day, and she's picked up the majority of it already. So I think that's a real fan's favourite. So we might re-release it near to Christmas.
That's wonderful, James. We'll dedicate this one to you.
6 foot 5, hard as my Aussie, gets the fans excited. 6 Man City up your bum, 'cause we are Man United.
Have a good evening, James.
Top man,
James. You ready to get some off your chest? I missed it, Webby. I was away last week. I missed it. I missed the sort of the rush.
I shouldn't really be moaning because everything's, like I said, good in the garden. But one thing what's got me back up, well, it has done for a few years now, is these ticket ballots at Old Trafford, you know. I just can't work them out. You get a run and then you don't get any. Then you wear lads who don't get any at all. And then it's the same people. And you get in the away end of that game. And there's people in there who shouldn't be there. And it's just all going wrong, you know. It's disheartening when you see some lads who live and die for United, work all their life, and just to spend the weekend watching the club, and they can't get in the game. You know, there's a gentleman called Peter Bolton who goes to every game. You might have seen his flag.
Yeah, Peter Bolton, yeah.
And he's not got one for Liverpool. Now, I'm lucky one for Liverpool, and I'm being honest now. If he's not got one for Liverpool, I'm really thinking of giving mine to him, because people like that, you know, they should be in the ground, and it's disheartening. Look at the Leicester game last year when everyone had to pick the tickets up with Leicester. Now, for some reason, there's people in there who've never been to Old Trafford, mine Leicester. So the club, and they're going on about these collections, they need to really give their heads a wobble and look after the fans who spend every last penny on United. Moan over.
Moan over there, Webby. I know Peter Bolton, and I can assure you he is a man who lives for the club. So
if the club close tomorrow, that's the end of his life.
Yeah.
He rang me up last year, said, Webby, what are you doing next Tuesday? I went, Peter, don't know. He said, do you want to come and watch the reserves at Chelsea? You know, and they was there, the flag was up, he goes to every reserve game. I know the other year, when Warren Joyce was the manager, he had written a letter to Pete, and about 3 or 4 of them, he went to every reserve game. Mad. You know, and they love United, so they should be looked after. There's other people, not just Peter. I can name a load who go week in, week out, and I see them struggling for tickets, and people are in that ground who shouldn't be, so the club needs to think about it.
We'll move on. Thank you very much, Webby. We'll move on to something I saw in the back page of The Sun. We get all sorts of newspapers in here, so we'll have a flick about. And I see one of Paul Pogba in the air. Now, you mentioned this yesterday, last week, Webby, that you saw a video of him dancing. Now we see a picture of him playing football. He's a key player for United, but he's injured apparently. But yet we see him doing all this sort of, you know, different stuff that isn't football stuff.
I think with the fact that these high-profile players are now on social media and active on social media, I think a lot of things can get sort of read into quite deep. And you know, I think some fans are rightly asking why is he jumping about in the changing rooms, dancing around when he's got a hamstring injury? You know, so I think questions do need to be asked, and I think some sort of like maybe regulation, etc. In-house maybe might be needed, because you know, it's obviously not presenting it in the best of lights. I seen a conspiracy.
We love conspiracy on XS Manchester. Strap yourselves in.
Well, so the conspiracy was that when Pogba got injured against Basel, it was all part of a greater plan, because Jose wanted to raise the profile of Marouane Fellaini and his confidence. And when you look at the sort of performances of Fellaini and the fact that he's scored and how good he's played, you can sort of believe that it might have been the case. But I obviously, you know, you've got to look at this kind of thing and take it with a pinch of salt. But yeah, you know, I think so. He might not even be injured for all we know. You know, he's probably just taking a back seat.
Giving Fellaini a go again.
Yeah, having a bit of a rest, and he's going to smash it out at Anfield when he plays against Liverpool.
How bad is the injury? I think he'll play at Liverpool. I think it's Jose just doing a bit of what Jose does good. But players have got all the power now, Joe, you know. Yeah. They do what they want, mate. They do what they want. Now, the social media thing, everybody's going to follow their favourite player of their favourite team. And if they're putting a video of him on dancing, it's going to be passed from one to the other. And before you know it, it's all over. It gets back to the club. Now, if Paul is injured, he shouldn't be playing basketball, but it's his favourite hobby apart from football, and apparently he's a very good player. Yep. Now, he's got to use a bit of mind. Is it affecting his playing for United, his injury? I think he's fit. It's a great that he's not playing for France for the next 2 games, as well as Martial. You know, Martial there, you got to look at the French forward line, and it is frightening. In current form, Martial should be in that. But he's at home now for 2 weeks, resting up for Liverpool. Yep. What a great choice by Didier Deschamps to leave him out, nice and fresh for Liverpool.
Cheers, Didier. I'm just going to run through some headlines that have been sort of out there online. Nothing we can really delve into, but we can have a bit of a laugh with them. Apparently, Zlatan's new hobby, I don't know if you saw this, it's brilliant, is horse riding. Now, can you imagine? What's up with you? Are you all right? Can you imagine Zlatan on a horse?
Yeah, I could, yeah.
I could as well.
It'd look absolute mint, wouldn't it?
Do you know if you get? Do you know when you get that bit before the game when the coaches ride up, you go, Zlatan, where's that? And you just like hear the giddy ups like that.
Imagine Zlatan there, going through the mist on an horse at Old Trafford. You know, that's a presence. Yeah, I can imagine it.
He's the kind of guy who'd probably nail it the first time.
Yeah. We're going to have to get a little Photoshop of Zlatan on a horse, Chris. I don't know if you're up for that. And another headline that caught my eye before a quiz, by the way, I got a quiz, is United's potentially signing Ozil on a free. Now, that story's floating about. It might not be true, but it's something to discuss. Do we need him?
You check him on a free.
You take him on a free.
You take him on a free, and you listen to these Arsenal fans, he goes missing in big matches, but you don't play for Real Madrid, and apparently him and Jose were quite close. And if you look at him for Madrid, for me, he didn't hide in big matches. It's just seen when he's come over to England, you know, he's just like disappeared in big matches. Would I like to pay money for him? No. Would I take him on a free all day long? I'd take him on a free. He's going to make your squad better.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, fully agreed with Webby there on that one. I think I wouldn't pay money for him, but if we're getting him on a free, why not? You know, we've seen a previous Arsenal player become galvanised by the club, so here maybe, you know, Ozil might join and win the title with us. So, you know,
this has been the Exis Manchester Football Social. Thank you very much, Webby. So
thank you, Joe.
Thanks for having us on.
Always come back every Thursday, 6 p.m. till 7 p.m. We are back next Thursday, obviously.